This weekend I talked a lot about the future self in various contexts, various workshops and what have you. As part of awakening the shaman within. And the fascination with the phenomena of shamanism and the shaman is enormous right now. It's growing, it's amazing, in Western civilization, modern Western civilization, which includes South Africa. As you know, I'm also working in Europe and in North America and in South America. And I want to say the white man in particular, has this enormous projection on indigenous shamans. And that's a wonderful thing in a way, because you can go study, if you can find some that are willing to teach you, you can go study and you can learn some things. But really, if you go deep enough in your study, you're going to learn that you don't need to go there. That you have all the resources for the shamanic life within you. So what we're really doing is projecting a higher self, or a more complete self, on the phenomena of shamanism. So it's very shamanic to know this, actually. Yes. So developing this shaman within is like a Buddhist, a Zen practitioner, meditating daily and trying to chop wood and draw water, so to speak. You know, live in the moment, to manifest his Buddha nature. You know, it's already awake. It's already there with all this potentiality for spontaneous, creative, and compassionate living. Okay, but it needs to be accessed and downloaded and lived. Okay, and that's the challenge. That's what a yoga is for. A spiritual path and set of practices are for. Is how to go in there and find that greater self that you are. Okay, and then download it. You know, and live it, practice it. It's the easy part is really to find it. The harder part is to download it. So my theme is really, in all my teaching, in all my workshops, basically helping people to discover their shamanic powers within, their capacity to relate to the earth, the greater cosmos, their ancestry, to find the resources in their own history and ancestry. You don't have to go to another culture, another race, and borrow theirs. Jung said, what is it about the Western man that he thinks that no great value can come out of his own psyche? He's got to go somewhere else and import it. At the time, he was thinking of the East, you know, the fascination in his day with Asia, you know. But it applies to shamanism, you know. So, but it's a good thing in a way, because the rise of this image, its numinosity, its fascination, says that our greater self is waiting to be discovered, and something is wanting us to discover it. From a shamanic point of view, I say that's Mother Earth. She's calling us to wake up and to live from a fuller self that's more connected to her, more heart open and earth honoring, more reverent of all forms of life, more creative, more possibility. So the future self that I talked about would be like finding that shaman within. It's really your ideal self, because you can maybe envision it through meditation, through a shamanic journey, through ayahuasca experience. You can get a sense of this self which you can be, but which you are not yet. But to know that you have this future self, that you can go there and get it and start bringing it into the now. It's in the future, but you can start living it now. And this is a message of the Andes, where the shamans travel into the future, looking for a future with cleaner water, cleaner air, where people live in greater balance with Mother Nature, Pachamama. And it's the same idea that you can journey inward, and you can find this greater totality that you are, and begin to really daily practice incarnating it, living it. And over time, just like anybody that's practiced Zen for 20 years, their life has been transformed by that, has been altered. Probably there's more grace, more compassion, more spontaneity, more creativity. I think it's also important for people to experience their greater self or future self. And ecstasy, the kind of trance dancing, the sacred breath work, even it's what ayahuasca is about too, is the idea that you are too limited in your conception of yourself, and you need to get a greater vision of who you are, what you are, and a vision of what's in the way of that. and do the healing work of removing whatever wounds, habits, addictions you have that prevent you from manifesting that spiritual reality which you are. Yes. You know, I don't have a crystal ball in terms of what the planetary culture will look like a generation from now. But if we can begin manifesting this future self or this shaman within, I can tell you we're going to live more creatively. We're going to live more heart open instead of from a different place that's very mental, okay, and fear-based. And we're going to be more respectful, more ecological sensitivity, more sensitivity to other cultures and races, because as we become a planetary culture, we're going to encounter each other much more intimately and have to learn to live and appreciate each other. So I believe there will be more of that. And along the way, the forces of resistance, people with a lot of political power, people with a lot of economic power, they're not going to want to give up their way because it's serving them very well. So they will resist, and there are fear-based sources in humanity tied to religions, you know, and poverty. And they may make war, you know, they may fight this thing. But I think that within a generation we can become less war-prone. You know, wise up a bit and see the great cost of war and find another way. So, you know, better conflict resolution, better communication skills. You know, I've written 2 books that have become classics in America, Psychotherapy in the Sacred and Jungian Shamanism in Practice. And at the time I was writing them, which was 20 years ago, more than 20, people have to ask me, what is shamanism? Okay. Now, the Jungian Shamanism book is, the royalties last year were 800 times what they were in the first 5 years. So it's just now coming into its own. It was published in 1996, so it's in its 15th year, and it's just really taking off. So something has happened in the collective consciousness in North America and Europe where it's bought, and it's growing. So I know that's happening. Plus the people that come to my events and my workshops, you know, that number is growing, the interest. And on Facebook, you know, I formed a few community pages, and almost overnight I had 10,000 people interested. You know. So the world is hungry for it. You know?
I was going to say, what would your interpretation be of the word zeitgeist?
Zeitgeist, yes, the spirit of the age is one of angst too. People are afraid of change, but they know it's coming. Okay, for good or ill, things are going to change. And we could go to a condition where we're living fairly well now to one where we're just surviving, struggling to survive. Or we can go to one where we live pretty damn well and creatively, perhaps less greedily.
So thriving versus surviving.
Yes. I don't know, did I answer your question?
No, absolutely. Thank you very much.
I'm very encouraged by these events because during the course of this weekend, I talked to a great many people here about their experiences, you know. And what I heard was a lot of people healing, a lot of people connecting with themselves for the first time. A lot of people getting a new vision for their life, a new sense of where they're going to head. People who were at a crossroads that came, got clarity about how to proceed now, where they're going. People that haven't really stepped outside of their box and expressed any of their largest self, or suddenly doing it in the dancing activities, for example. I believe we planted a seed here, and in the hearts of the people that came and the people that participated and helped to bring it. I feel that seed is already taking root, and there will be an event next year, and the thing will grow. I do this sort of thing, sponsor this sort of thing, because of where we're at our point in history. I feel we are truly at a crossroads, and we need some rapid change. And we can't wait for evolution, biological evolution. Yes, we need different humans, a more evolved humanity. And it means spiritual practices. And it means a spirituality that's also ecological. An honoring of other cultures and other life forms besides the human. So that's why I'm doing this work.